Hey there viewers, welcome back to the South Main Auto Channel. Got a 2017 Buick Envision Essence. It's got the big 2.5 airbag lights on. The guy recently had a cooling fan put in at General Motors. They put a used one in because of the strike. They couldn't get a new one and so on and so forth. And he thought that the airbag light was on after that. But he was kind of up in the air whether or not it really was or wasn't. So that's neither here nor there, but that's the most recent work that's been done. I've got the battery maintainer on it. I've got the Altel hooked up. I've got it over here doing a system scan. We got to see what codes are in it. He said he had the GM dealer look at it. They told him that there is an open circuit somewhere's in the driver's side. Charged him a couple $100. Told him they would need, $300 or $400 more to tell him, exactly what was wrong with it or to find, this open circuit. So that's all I know. That was the best he could explain it to me. He had another guy look at it after that. For whatever reason, he didn't want to proceed with the with the dealer to find the issue. So a family member of his looked at it and said that it had 3 things that were wrong with it, or 3 possible different faults. So that's what I know. I don't do a lot of airbag stuff, so I'm not super familiar with it. But let's see what the code scan says, and we'll take it from there. We'll grab a pokey tool. Looks like we've got 13 codes in it. The SDM, so that's going to be your airbag module, your sensing diagnostic module on a General Motors. That has 3 codes in it. So we'll just go to report here and see if any of these codes pertain to each other here. That's in the park and brake, inflatable restraints. We have a left front impact sensor, high voltage open, current code. Left front side impact sensor, high voltage open, current, and a right front side impact sensor. So that's interesting. They're all open circuited. So yeah, it does sound like that the dealer was telling them the right thing here. And whoever else worked on it said there was three things. Yeah, and these are 3 different codes: a B0083, 85, 86. Circuit low. I wonder if must have had a low battery at some point here. But the ones we're concerned with are the stuff here in the SDM, so we'll go straight into there. Of course, we know what the codes are. Same codes we had out here. So that's kind of interesting. I do know that the front impact sensors, I did notice, were right here. There's one there. There's one there. Those are going to be the fronts. I don't know where the side impact sensors are. I can't imagine what is the common denominator here, or I don't know, who knows, maybe he's got a bunch of bad sensors. These are real failure prone on the Chevy pickup trucks there. They swell up and crack in half. Well, let me look at a wire diagram. Over here doing the hokey pokey, looking at factory wire diagrams to see if there's anything in common with these. Like, do all the wires run through a single connector? And they don't. The side impact sensors, the best I can tell in service data, are in the door. So the driver's side front door, passenger side front door have the side impact sensors in it says. And then the front impact are what we found there up in the front. The front impact sensors have a common connector. But both of them are showing bad. And then the side impact sensors each have their own connector, where the door connects into the body harness, it looks like. Other than that, the only connector or anything they have in common is the actual sensing diagnostic module, so the inflatable restraint module, that connector on there. That's the only thing that they share common. I think before we get too far going down this rabbit trail of, disconnecting everything and checking wire integrity, airbag systems, now don't follow my lead on this, but airbag systems are pretty resilient and have a lot of redundancy built into them, typically for fault tolerance, things like that. It can detect an open circuit. It can also detect a short circuit. We want to know the wires going up to the impact sensor, are they any good? Well, if you follow service data, it's going to have you find the airbag module wherever that lives, find this, do a resistance check on it, which, as anybody knows that deals with electricity, resistance checks are virtually worthless. It's probably the most worthless test you could carry out on any wire, checking it for, its wiring integrity, So that's something for a different day. What I would do, I guess what I was getting at, is the system can also detect a short circuit. Let's short the sensor out, the 2 wires, see if this code changes from an open circuit to a short circuit, and if it does, Bob's your uncle. Sensor's bad, wires are intact, and we move on with our life. So the red tab on this one, right, yeah, that one's already back. Oh shoot, now I pushed it forward. Ding dong. You just flick it back. Maybe they were doing some checking at the Chevy dealer. So currently, this left front impact sensor, we have a B008305. Left front impact sensor, high voltage open. Just for poop and laughter here, I'm just gonna clear the codes. They should come right back because they were all, yeah, I just heard it ding in there. That one's gone now. Whoa, where are you at? It's all glary. That's interesting. Is there something going funky here with the... All we did is flick the red tab in and red tab back out. Let me reread the codes here. Oh yeah, now it's back. Left front impact sensor voltage high. You guys are... My screen's kind of goofed up here. Well, let me hold up on that thing. Erase the codes again. Maybe we just have a poor connection on this one. Reread the codes. Yeah, look at that. So I'm holding up on the connector. Now we just have two codes. Let me let go back of that again. Just kind of wiggle that connector. Kind of put a little down tension on it. Yeah. Left front impact sensor high. I'm just going to try this a couple times. I just want to kind of, I don't know if I'm tweaking the whole sensor or just the connector here. I'm just going to kind of tweak up on it. I'll erase the codes again. I'm just going to maintain holding tweakage on it. Read the codes. All right, the code's still there. Left front impact sensor high. Because all we did is click that in. I'll just kind of hold over on it now. Erase the codes, reread them. Left front impact sensor high open. I'll tweak it the other way. That is kind of peculiar what it did there for us. Yeah, so if I'm tweaking it out right now, I'm going to keep maintaining on that. I'm going to erase the codes again. The code's gone. Yeah, it's back again. Interesting. Like I say, we could be tweaking the whole sensor. Well, we'll start right here. We're going to take and unplug this little guy. This is where we were going to start anyways. Okay, so that's unplugged. Let's just have a look inside there with a mirror. See what that connection looks like in there. Really tiny pins. I don't see any green stuff. I don't see any swelling on the sensor. You know, the car doesn't look real rusty. Let's grab our AES Wave test kit there and get a couple male pins. Kind of do a little drag test on this thing. See what they feel like. So this one I feel some resistance. I guess I feel resistance in that one too. These pins are really tiny. Just want to see. Yeah, but if I hold it kind of just center, I don't feel anything. This one I kind of do though. Yeah, this one I definitely feel something on. Not a lot. Well, no, I guess if I get it just right, just nothing there. I don't want to be misjudging this because these probes are not very long and these pins inside this connector are quite long in comparison to what I have here. Kind of curious. Need a longer pin? Strip her back. Hope AES Wave isn't watching. And for all I know, this could be the wrong size pin, but this seemed to be the only one that was remotely close. Yeah, just nothing there. Yeah, because my next size up, the next size bigger is a little bit bigger, and I think it's too big. Yeah, they don't even want to start down the plastic. That's definitely too big. Boy, I don't know. That has me a little bit concerned now. This is the one that's throwing the open circuit too. So we could, but how on earth would they have been spread apart or whatever? I tell you what, let's check the right sensor, the sensor that doesn't have any problems. Let me just unplug that real quick and see what that feels like, because that would be a good control for us to know what it's supposed to feel like, and then we'll go from there. I took the screws out of that. We got to get a pick to unplug that. Should be a red tab on it down here. Okay. Let's just make sure we set a code. We should have a code now for the right front impact sensor. We'll go read codes. Okay, right front impact sensor, high voltage. Okay. So we know that it can see that one. I just want to see what it feels like with this. Oh yeah. Well, let me just double check here. Oh yeah, I can easily feel. Make sure I'm not being screwed by the plastic here. Yeah, there is a noticeable difference in this one. See, because I can. Yeah, so you can see that difference, right? Okay. Well, how on earth would that have gotten spread open? Now that code should go away. So that's interesting. Was somebody, maybe they create, I don't know if somebody created a problem. So let's erase the codes here. Let's reread them. Okay, we're back to our 3. The right side one here is gone. So let's come revisit this connector again. Cause that wouldn't make sense. That doesn't even make sense that this would be, I mean, these are tiny little suckers. I'm gonna have to get my glasses, but well, let me show you here. You guys seen what was going on over there, how I could just pick this connector up, but you know, this one here, there is absolutely no resistance whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, you can just lift this right out. It doesn't even, no resistance at all. So these pins must be spread. Boy, oh boy, that's a tiny little connector, my guy. I don't know. Nobody's messed with the tape or anything on it. Yikes. Well, let me fiddle with this. Let me get my glasses. I'll see about popping the end off it there. Maybe we can just lightly tweak them back, hopefully. So the more I look at this one, I believe this terminal, this one terminal, I believe is bad. I don't believe it has the little tang in it now. The closer I look at it, and I kind of pull it up there, so the one I can easily see when I insert the male half, I can see the little tab flick up out of the way, and I can feel the tension on it. But this one here, I think the tab is missing. I think it's broke because there's just nothing there. And when I put my little needle in there and push on it, I don't feel it. I can feel the one side over here springing. This side here, I can feel this one, but this side, nothing. I think the smarter choice here is to make the call on the connector. I think that's the smarter choice. All right, and being that it's a airbag here, we're probably smarter. I mean, we could tweak the pin in that connector and probably get it to go away. But I think we should be smart here to erase our codes. I wonder what we're going to find on the side impacts. Yeah, see, that code's gone now. So right now we're making connection because we're just having problems with the side impact sensors. Okay. So I would say, to be on the safe side, this one at the very least needs a connector. Okay, I think we've determined that. We can make that call. I feel comfortable with that. Let's find these side impact sensors, or at least one. We probably have to pull a door panel off here. Put that thing back. I'll put that thing back and then check availability on that. But then we gotta find our side impact sensors. So it seems kind of bizarre, right? I mean, I kind of think it is. I don't know. I don't really know what to make of it just yet. I'll be curious to see what we find here. You know, I don't know if that stuff up there had to get unplugged to do the fans. I guess that's really near here nor there, because how on earth would that terminal have gotten spread like that, so to speak, or even broken? Like I say, I think that little tab in there is busted. Personally. Alright, so I went fishing here and found these 3 screws, a little cover here. It's probably just, these cars aren't made super tricky. It's probably just a snap together door. Let me go look in service data though real quick to see if anything needs to come out and get unplugged. Usually they don't, but let me just go check real quick. Talk about GM reinventing the wheel on this one. So there's just your standard clips here in the door. See, this one's even been out before because this one's all freaking bent over. Or either that or from the factory they missed the hole. So straighten that one up. Must be still one stuck in the door. Yes, there is. Okay. So this is probably the dumbest thing I've ever seen. There is 5 metal, the old school metal retainer clips in this window belting, in this window guide here. And it says anytime the door panel is removed, you have to replace all of these fasteners. And they tell you to pry out on the door and give it a swift hit while pulling out with one hand and then smacking it with another. Like, you should read service data. It's pretty comical. What's up, Miss O? Oh. You need me?
So did you look at the engine light at all?
On one Josh put tires on, I did not. No.
Time?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir, tell him. So the thing is, like, you can get it out while pulling the, you know, the window felt out here, but it makes it kind of a pita. And I'm curious about getting these metal clips undone, because these clips are probably the worst style retainer clip ever, because you have to hit them on both sides to get them out without breaking them. So I think what we'll do is we'll continue our diagnosis, but before we put it together, we're going to have to get this, you know, this piece of molding off so we can snap the door back together how it's intended, because putting it back together like this would be a pain in hoo-hoo. But yeah, what a stupid design. Gosh, yeah, good job, Jim. Let's stick our light right here. Now, supposedly, the impact sensor is behind here. That's kind of curious. This upper stuff is coming off like it's been off before. Maybe it just wasn't adhered good at the factory. It doesn't look like they put a, you know, stuff is not reusable. Gosh. Cars just get crappier and crappier every year. Well, before I go digging too deep, let me just see if I can see where it is. It said it's behind the water shield. Open this up a little bit here. Yeah, it's not really attached by much anyways. Looks like when they put it together at the factory, they missed most of it. At this point. Oh, okay, maybe that's it right here, yep. So this must be the sensor right here, because I see the small wiring harness going up to it. It's a 2-wire. Well, let's do this. We'll get a piece of tape and we'll hold that up. I don't see where these Christmas tree retainers have been taken out. Like, you know, anybody's been meddling with it. Hard to say. Before I unplug it, let me get a mirror. Let's have a look back there. I'll get a piece of tape to hold this up for us. I'll get a mirror, look back there. We'll get it unplugged. Wipe off my light here. We'll stick that on there. There is like some black mold and stuff growing inside the door here. It's kind of interesting. Where would we be without our green tape? We'd be using manila colored tape. All right, that's good enough. I did bring us a mirror. Get the light. I assume that's our impact sensor. 2 wires. Red lock. See if I can reach in and hit the lock. Probably be better off just giving it the old feeler here. Oh yeah, look at that. Got it. First try. Oh yeah, and unplugged it. First try too. Today's my lucky day. Stick that there. Let's have a feel on this one. That one feels good. Oh, she's tiger tight. So how about this? I think this is what we want to do the first time. Let's make sure we have the right sensor. Make sure we don't have some other random code. Here's some tape that's been painted on. I wonder if she's had some body work. Another clue. It doesn't look like anybody's there's no way a body shop did this and didn't break every single thing on here. Plus none of this looks like it's touched, so that must be from the factory. What we were gonna do when we started fiddling with that sensor, I think what I began to tell you is why don't we just short the wires together and see if it sets a code for being shorted. That tells us wire integrity from here to the module. So let's go get a scan tool. Read codes. Okay, right front impact sensor high open. I got us another prober here. There's that. Let's short these babies together. You want to stand way back when you do this. Hold your breath. Okay. Nothing blew up. We're going to erase codes. Yes. We're going to reread the codes. Right front impact sensor short to ground. Oh, that's interesting. Left rear impact sensor short to ground. So it must be they're tied together. I would have to look. We better look at diagram and see who's going which way. All right, pretty interesting. Yeah, so right front impact sensor short to ground and left rear short to ground. I don't know as if they're daisy chains or anything like that, but let's erase the codes. Right front impact sensor open. Interesting. Let me go look at a diagram to see if there is any connection with that. I thought the impact sensors were just all on their own, but it does tell me that we have a wiring that is not completely open circuited as the code indicates. My assumption at this point, until I go look at more, is that we just have a bad sensor on this door, a bad connector up there, and then we'd have to tear the driver's door apart to go further. So according to service data, there is no external wire connection between this right front and the right rear. One of these wires is a ground, and the other one is the wire it communicates on to the impact sensor. So shorting them, like I say, that's people are going to get kind of freaked out about it. If airbag systems were that sensitive, people would be getting smacked in the face with airbags all the time, because let's say a deer hitting this thing and pinch these wires and short them to the ground. If that was going to blow off airbags, that would be some of the most piss poor engineering algorithm written software ever in the world. And like I say, cars would be blowing up all the time. So I'm not too worried about shorting 2 wires together, essentially, especially because you can see that this car can detect open circuits, short to voltage, short to ground. It has the ability to do that and see that. Why, when we short the right front sensor wire, so it's just going to be this brown with the orange, we don't even have to short it to its ground. But when we do, that tells us that we have wire integrity from here all the way to the sensing diagnostic module. We don't even have to open it up. I am a little bit curious though why it's setting a code for the right rear also, right? Is that the code it set? No, it was right front side impact sensor short to ground, left rear impact sensor short to ground. So that's the part that's kind of bizarre. I am curious though, because that's really kind of bizarre. That kind of throws me. I don't know what it's like inside the sensing diagnostic module, if there's a reason for that. Because if we clear the codes, we should just have our open circuit code now. And we do. We just have our open circuit for the right front. So that has me a little bit concerned as to what's going on there. I think if it were me, and it is, I would pull the driver's side door panel and see if the one on the driver's side, when we short that, does it short just itself? Or does it short like that one plus the right rear? I don't know. That's what we don't know. Sometimes we don't know everything. Oftentimes. So let's get that. I'm gonna go pop the panel off that side. Left the window down on this side, so it might be a little more difficult. All right, so I think that was the red clip. Unplugged. Okay. Moment of truth. Put the hat back on before people start getting scared. Let's see what the hole feels like. That one feels good. All right, they're both Tiger tight. Right now, the only codes we have are original ones there for open circuited both sides. Let's go ahead and erase the codes now. Codes are erased. Oh, let's turn the key on. I shut the key off because of door dinger. We'll reread our codes. Left front. There, sick of listening to that thing. Yeah, look at that, see? Left front, center short to ground. Right rear, short to ground. Isn't that interesting? So when we short, so that must be the only thing that makes sense to me. Or we got some really crazy friggin' problem, or something internal in the SDM. When this sensor shorts out, it also sets a code for the right rear. And when the one on the right front shorts out, it also sets a code for the left rear. So that's pretty bizarre. That could really send somebody on a wild goose chase, I wonder. Yeah, because if we open the circuit, boy, that's some good information to know. It's probably not in service data, but we should have the code just for the 2 open circuits, okay? And then if we take simply just I think the signal wire was the orange over here. If we just short that to ground, erase the codes, we should get the same code because the one wire on here is just the ground. Yeah, and we do. Right rear, short to ground, and left front, short to ground. So that's super interesting. And that's just a single wire, and according to the wiring diagram, this wire is all by itself going to the SDM. So like I say, either there's something super strange, or we have 2 bad sensors. The fact that the right front and the left rear, and then the left front and the right rear, I'm gonna make a call for maybe a little bit of ignorance. with nothing else to compare it to, I have to believe that has something inside the module that's kind of crazy. But I'm gonna say it needs 2 sensors and a connector. That's my final answer. I always like to ask myself, and you always should too, is what's for dinner? And after that, think, if this doesn't fix it, what am I gonna do next? And that's what I like to do usually as I'm taking care of my tools, which as of right now, I don't have an answer. I don't like to overcomplicate stuff before we get too hot and heavy into it. I think we just got a couple bad sensors, my opinion. That's that, folks. Still waiting to hear from the guy who wrote him an estimate. I did find the connector. You cannot get that from GM. They don't have a list on the connector, the pins, nothing. They just, buy the whole harness is what they say. And that's like $500,000. Found it through Connector Experts. They have it listed, connector, wiring pins, however you want to buy it. I quoted them on just the connector, just in case I had some kind of hard time getting a part. It's easier just do the connector. It comes with 2 8-inch leads, so we did that. And then I priced it on both impact sensors for the side, and both of them were the same part number. They're a couple $100 a whack from GM. When it comes to any of that stuff, I never use any aftermarket component. The connector I'm not worried about using aftermarket, but as far as impact sensors, stuff like that, we always just quote them out on OEM. I know there are some aftermarket options on some cars, but I don't mess with that. So that's it. Just go wait and hear back from the customer. I left the door panels off it, but it is pretty interesting how we shorted those out and then, got crisscross codes there. The only thing I can assume, I'm not a big electronics guy, but I assume inside the magical, mystical box of the sensing diagnostic module, there is some component in there that is shared between those crisscross doors, something that, perhaps provides the voltage to them, something. I don't know. You guys will know because you'll leave it in that comment section. Questions, comments, concerns, the Insta, the Facebook, you know where to find us. If we get the job and get to do the repair, I'm obviously bringing you along, so keep a lookout for that. Just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.